Come on. That's where they want to go. There's a big gap that they could have walked out of to walk into it. But instead they just walked right in the corner. He's looking over there saying, oh, that grass looks so green. I know I've done this another time, but I can't remember how. That's how. Oh, they're getting keyed up, so they both got a poop. This little guy would be there in a heartbeat. He's got things like that figured out. Come on. It's not that hard, honey. You'll figure it out, won't ya? That you go through that big open space right there. Instead of looking over at where you want to be. You silly gooses. Oh, geese. Sorry. Come on. Let me try to walk away. Now, if I'd go and rattle a feed bucket, they'd figure it out. But as you can see from the beautiful tufts of fresh grass over there, that's what they're flirting with, and they can't keep their eyes off of. Okay, it's kind of obvious that I need to talk about the metaphor to life right here. How many times when we're wanting the reward and what we see as being the answer, do we just keep staring at it with a barrier, a huge barrier across the way that we're unable to pass? And we just aren't able to center ourselves, set a clear and true intention, and look at all the openings around us that we could walk right through to find that reward. Right now, I could go push them. Or I could go get behind them and make them move. But if I did, what they might do is get excited and run all the way down here. And then it would be another example of me having to do more work than the entity is doing to help themselves. So what I'm trying to do is open up the path and just send them some intention of where to go. They've done this so many times, and again, horses are my BFFs, so I'm not really wanting to diss them, but it's always when it comes to something like this that I'm reminded. Though they can seem brilliant in so many ways, when it comes to just some common sense, it's very difficult. So he's going to walk back into the corner again. She kind of had it figured out a minute ago. Now at this point, they're not leery of me. I mean, they know I'm not holding a halter, I'm not holding a rope, the float's not out. They're not getting a sense that I really want something from them. In fact, he's looking at me in a very friendly way, like, help, Mom. And frequently with horses, I remind people that the best way to not get frustrated with them is if you think of them as a big toddler. And that's exactly what's going on right here, is kind of a toddler brain thing. You know, I've got myself in here. I really want that sweetness on the other side, but I can't remember quite what to do it. Mom, will you do it for me? That kind of dynamic. Now, Shania, named Shania because she was actually one of Shania Twain's horses here in New Zealand when Shania Twain was in New Zealand. Shania looks like she's got it more, but she's waiting for her mate. He's actually, usually she's a pretty bossy lead mare, but he moves her around. He's the one that does the moving around. So she's kind of waiting for his cue to move on. Yoo-hoo! Shania! Shania! Now, if I can gently lead, if I can walk away, sometimes that, if I'm just doing it calmly, that might be enough. And I'm not showing a threat to them, for them to figure out a way to come towards me. And then if they see the open gate there, and they know that beautiful grass is on the other side, they'll probably want to come. But it's when my back is totally to them, and they absolutely know I'm not asking anything from them, is when they're most likely to come. And what does that sound like? That sounds like a child, doesn't it? That sounds like how a teenager could be. That sounds like how a partner can be sometimes. Don't push me. Don't confront me face to face. But gently lead me. And especially with our kids. There we go. There we go. Lead in a way that shows. There we go. Now we'll see. Are you seeing that open space? Good girl. And of course, I want to praise her for what she's doing, because you're just doing it, girl. Well done. That's a good girl. But if I had pushed that, she especially, well, they both can be, when they feel pushed, extremely flighty and run, and then that causes a big heap of commotion, and we all are no longer on the goal. As you can see, he is still struggling with the concept, even after He's trying, he's was trained early to open gates, and that's what he was doing, was pushing with his chest, thinking, I can open that. Now, how long is it going to take him to get that picture of what she just did? Shouldn't really take this long. So is he looking at the gap now? It's a beautiful breeze blowing right now. There we go. Getting some movement. And there we go. And you know what I think partly had to happen? Is I think he had to get centered with it. Really figure out what his intention was and how he's going to get there. But man, if I would have pushed it, I would have had 2 hyper horses. And I don't have any aids out here with me right now. I don't have a carrot stick or a rope or anything. It's just me and my body. I would have picked up a stick if I really wanted to do some herding activity. But there you go. I haven't wasted my energy. I haven't worked harder than the entity here, if you want to say the person in real life, or this animal. I haven't worked harder than they're working to try to get the outcome. So let's just try to keep that in mind in our relationships in life. And especially when somebody's struggling, especially when there's a behavior going on that you know is not healthy for the other person, you really, really want to do whatever you can do to help them. But let's keep in mind that we do not want to work harder than the person themselves. Because when we do, we take away all opportunity for actually letting them figure the problem out, just like Yorkie, the big horse, just figured out. And Shania and I gently led him. That's it, guys. Wasn't planning on making this little lesson, but it was such an obvious lesson. Someday I will share with you my tale of the turkey. Peace and love. See ya. Bye.